Yeah, man! Serious times down in Johannesburg. Watch the fire now. Listen! The horns! Oh, yeah. The stage was set, the lights were low for the big G20 show. Leaders coming from across the sea to talk about the world economy. Johannesburg was dressed to impress, ready to clean up the global mess. But before the first gavel could sound, a different kind of noise started going around. Now everybody talking about Cyril's big blunder. He lighting the match while we standing under. You think you're smart with that devious smile, but you're burning down the bridge for mile after mile. Oh, Cyril's big blunder, what a heavy price when you're playing politics and rolling the dice. The party is cancelled, the guests wouldn't come. Now we dancing alone to the beat of the drum. The Kineon see politicians step up to the mic, spewing out words that nobody like. They open their mouths and the fire jump out, insulting America, scream and shout. They're telling tall tales, they're telling the lies, right there under the African skies. And the media catch it, they run with the ball, they amplify the noise until the whole thing fall off. Talking about Cyril's big blunder, he lighting the match while we standing under. You think you're smart with that devious smile, but you're burning down the bridge for mile after mile. Oh, Cyril's big blunder, what a heavy price when you're playing politics and rolling the dice. The party is cancelled, the guests wouldn't come. Now we dancing alone to the beat of the drum. Yeah. Watch the house of cards, they're tumbling on. Yeah, blow it down, what a mess. I look at the president sitting up high, I see that little twinkle in his eye. He cracking that smile, that devious grin, while the diplomatic ice is getting very thin. You think the eagle gonna take that heat? Nah, sir, they won't take a seat. No Uncle Sam at your Josie party. You chase them away, you're acting too hearty. It's Cyril's big blunder, he lighting the match while we standing under. You think you're smart with that devious smile, but you're burning down the bridge for mile after mile. Oh, Cyril's big blunder, what a heavy price when you're playing politics and rolling the dice. The party is cancelled, the guests wouldn't come. Now we dancing alone to the beat of the drum. Yeah, they staying away America now come to Johannesburg today. You set the house on fire, man, what kind of plan? Cyril, wipe that smile off your face. It's a disgrace. No, sir. No, sir.
Marvin Divine. I'm saying bye to all the lies and all the times you cried, saying that I wasn't right, yet I was right by your side. You manipulator, playing games, your friends commentators, and I don't know what you say about our private conversations, but it's got them hating. Thanks to all the rumors you be claiming, it's cool, I'm done with you, so they can throw you a celebration. You gon' hate it when you see me with somebody living better. I'm trying to tell you that me just doing me gon' have you jealous.
Hello, folks. Welcome back to the program. It is Saturday, the 22nd of November. It is checking the sound real quick. Yes, and we have a little announcement today. I sent one last night. I don't know if he saw it, but I did send it to him last night. Where the heck is it at? Sorry, I'm looking for something here very quickly. Thank you for your patience while I search for this. Where is the damn thing at? Where's my folder at? There we go. Finally, I found it. There we go. That's what I'm looking for. Okay, but there we go. I'm having a hard time getting this thing working here today. Happy birthday to Hendo, moderator extraordinaire. Been with since the outset. Hendo's birthday today. Can we give some hearts and little congratulations to Hendo. He's another year older on this planet. Today marks the anniversary of his birth date. There you go. There you go. Yes, I just published a video, Alan, called, the title was, We Got to Fetch. So U.S. bounce from G20, South Africa's bold move. U.S. must fetch the baton from Durko's offices. Wow, you're 50, Hendo? Wow, I had no idea, man. You're getting old, man. Happy birthday, Hendo. Wow, congratulations. Moderator extraordinaire. All right, cool beans. All right, folks, we've got Rugby Ascendant coming up after this. In fact, I don't know if I've actually pushed people there. So let's take a look real quick at this video. And I want to make sure because I set that up last night. Redirect. Let's go to Rugby Ascendant. Oh. Rugby Ascendant. There we go. All right, so you'll be redirected to that match if you want to watch the rugby or listen to me at the rugby game. Watch me and listen. That's coming up after this. Thank you for that. Had a drop off yesterday. We only had 170,000 views. Thank you for that. 2 good days in a row there, but not as good as the previous day. Anna Kruger, welcome. Thank you for the 14 Rand super chat, making it rain. What is this? All right, so same week. Oh, El Marie, you didn't tell us you had a birthday, so there's happy birthday to you. Or did you tell us? Did we do it? I don't remember doing it. Maybe I'm getting old here. Maybe I'm getting old. There you go. Rugby and cricket if they target Prendergast. Weak defense. Well, it should be a hell of a matchup. Both teams are coming full bore with their top talent in the starting lineup. It looks really good. For the most part, it's the best Springboks that are available, and same with Ireland. Looking forward to it. Anyway, we've got a lot of news to talk about, not the least of which is the G20. So I would have been there covering the events in South Africa, but here I am here now. So I probably would have had a very different approach to this if I'd been in South Africa. So interesting. Welcome, everybody. And happy birthday once again to El Marie, a couple days belated, and also to Hendo, whose birthday is today. Out of order, South Africa blocks the United States Embassy's bid to attend the G20 closing ceremony, despite the U.S. doing the correct protocol and sending a dip note. Eudora Princelow, you're very welcome. Thank you for the 14 Rand. The U.S. did the correct protocol and sent a dip note a week ago, and suggesting that they would requesting to attend with the charge d'affaires, the most senior diplomat at the U.S. Embassy, and one of the most senior diplomats in the world with 3 decades of diplomatic experience. Mr. Dillard was to go and receive the baton from the South African government. The South African government is pulling all kinds of stops out, and their PSYOP continues with this whole conference. It's really sad, folks. Yes, really, really sad. This article here in the IOL is worth reading, by the way, by Jonisaya Maromo. Actually, a pretty good article, researched, mostly correct, and actually, is objective. Something that this outlet is not accustomed to, the IOL. The Americans are not coming. South African officials confirmed the G20 closing ceremony. They've snubbed the Americans. There will be no U.S. delegation at the closing ceremony, despite a last-minute request. It wasn't a last-minute request. It was a week ago. Americans are not coming, a senior government source said. Yep, okay, well. Ramaphosa has refused to accept the delegation, so South Africa has snubbed the United States, but they're playing the victim. Ronald Mola confirms that if the U.S. wants the handover, they have to come fetch it from Durko's offices. Yeah, I don't think so, buddy. I don't think so. Speaking of the sidelines of the summit today, Lamola said the U.S. will have to collect it from the Department of International Relations and Cooperation, emphasized the summit with South Africa's G20. It's South... Oh, I'm sorry. So it's South Africa's G20. No wonder the begging bowl is out. No wonder they're asking for handouts. No wonder they want debt relief, but then to give more money. No wonder they want the just energy grift. Yes, no wonder, yes. I'm sorry, El Marie. That's okay. But we gave you a cake now, so there you go. So I didn't miss it. There you go. Well, South Africa says a declaration was adopted at the start of the G20 summit. So South Africa is busy telling the media that the U.S. is violating protocol for the G20, which there's no protocol for who accepts the handover. It's tradition that the leader of a nation accepts, but it's not protocol. But they are violating protocol by issuing a final declaration before the conference even started. That's not how this works. This is delivered at the end of the conference, but South Africa's broken protocol, and well, why not? They've invited the entire planet and the Alpha Centaurians to come to this event. It's the G1 million, not the G20. South Africa says a declaration was adopted at the start of the G20 summit despite U.S. opposition. World leaders from the group of 20 rich and developing economies. I'm sorry, okay, rich and developing. Okay, yeah, South Africa's not a rich economy. Broke with tradition, adopted the declaration at the start of their summit on Saturday, despite opposition from the United States, which is boycotting. When the United States is not boycotting, we're just not sending anyone there. It's different. We didn't lead a boycott. We would have demanded other people not go. There were no details in what was in the declaration, but there are details now, and I'll just read some of them to you. You ready for this? These are the details in this ridiculous declaration. It is asinine, folks. I mean, this thing is ridiculously long. How many pages was it? Let me look. 30 pages, I think it is. I mean, the declaration should be a page, no more. Just absolute, utter nonsense. It's insane. Okay, where's it at? Now it's missing. I can't find it. I had it here. There it is. G20 Summit Declaration. It is 30 pages long. 30 pages long. And these are the items that are highlighted in this declaration. You ready for this? All right. Strengthen disaster resilience and response. That's reasonable. Take action to ensure debt sustainability for low-income countries. Nope. Nope. Where's it at? Oh, hang on. It's not here. I'll be right back. I got to get it. Yes, the richest economies in the world are not meant to be doing debt relief for poor beggars. So take action to ensure debt sustainability for low-income countries, cost of capital, red card. Take action to ensure debt, oh, got that. Harness critical minerals for inclusive growth and sustainable development. Okay, but inclusive growth and sustainable development, red card. Food security, that's reasonable. Artificial intelligence, data governance, and innovation, okay, for sustainable development, red card. Partnership for Africa, red card. Finance tract, giving Africa money, red card. Working together to enhance international finance architecture and improve debt sustainability. Okay, that's fine. Financing resilience, increasing flows of sustainable finance, infrastructure investment, and health security. Sustainable finance, red card. And health security, no such thing, red card. Protecting financial stability, promoting innovation whilst managing systemic risks and continuing efforts to support financial inclusion. Red card, more begging. Working together to stabilize an international tax system and enhance domestic resource mobilization. Red card. You know, so we hear all this nonsense and whining in the South African media and South African government about how the U.S. has imposed tariffs on South Africa, as if that was a consequence of some action South Africa took. No, it's a consequence of action South Africa has taken for years. And along with 89 other countries, they got tariffs imposed on them because of unfair trade practices against the United States. So you complain about tariffs on South Africa, but now you want to tax us in an international tax system. Red card. We are not paying. You are not our sovereign. We are not paying taxes to you or anyone. So all this whining about reciprocal tariffs and you want to tax us. You are not our sovereign. Strengthening and finance track focus on Africa, enhancing its effectiveness. Red card. This is not the Africa 20, it's the G20. Contribution of the G20 to the global development agenda and the fostering of equitable global governance. Red card. 115 points in the 30-page document. Nothing's ever going to happen. Nothing is ever going to happen, folks. This is ridiculous. And at the end, it says, we reiterate our commitment to the G20 as a premier forum for international economic cooperation and its continued operation in the spirit of multilateralism on the basis of consensus. It's not consensus. With all members participating on equal footing in all events, including summits in accordance with international obligations. We thank South Africa for its leadership this year. We commit to working together under the United States presidency in 2026 and meeting again in the United Kingdom in 2027 and Korea in 2028. We welcome Saudi Arabia's ambition to advance its turn for hosting the G20 presidency in the next cycle. Okay, wow. What a bunch of parasites. What a bunch of absolute parasites. That's what they turned the G20 into, a beggar's bowl. Yeah. So, and breaking, so Ramaphosa and the South African government keep talking about the U.S. has violated protocol. There's no protocol violated. They sent a diplomatic note. They gave the names of the people for clearance, and then South Africa threw it in our face. And then they insulted the Americans, claiming a junior official was going. Steenhuisen said that. Piri has said that. Ramaphosa has said that. It's not a junior official. It's one of the most senior diplomats on the planet. This is just disgraceful. Absolutely disgraceful. Absolutely disgraceful. So also the breaking of the protocol is South Africa actually giving a declaration of what the summit achieved before the summit has even occurred. This is putting the horse before the cart. Ridiculous. Welcome, Erica. Unbelievable. Ramaphosa points to an overwhelming consensus for the G20 declaration. Well, there's no such thing as an overwhelming consensus. Either you have consensus or you don't. 19 of 20 countries have agreed to this ridiculous document, so you don't have consensus. You don't have consensus. Historic G20 summit. Declaration prioritizes the developing world. Well, that's what the United Nations is for, or the IMF, or the World Bank, or the African Development Bank, or the BRICS Bank, not the G20. Look at Macron, the man who can barely hang on to office. He's busy not being bitch slapped by his wife. He's out there busy glad-handing with Cyril, the money man. Cyril, the money man. Do you know the muffin man? Do you know the money man? Yeah. G20, Argentina isn't happy, but everyone else is. Wow. Sources suggested Ramaphosa's unorthodox decision to get the leaders' declaration adopted at the start of the meeting rather than the end was a strategy to preempt any backtracking. Yeah, look at that, folks. The G20. That looks like about 1,000 people in that line. Even with the U.S. seat left empty and questions lingering about participation in the last minute, South Africa pushed ahead, proving the G20 summit would not be derailed by diplomatic tensions. First off, all of this nonsense. Did anyone think that the South African government couldn't spruce up the streets and hang up signs and paint over and remove the homeless and actually put every cop that they have on the streets to make sure nothing happened? Did anybody think that couldn't happen? I mean, we already know that flights have been canceled from Cape Town because there's not enough fuel, because they had to put fuel up in at Waterkloof and they had to put fuel up at Tambo for these delegations and for these world leaders. So there isn't enough fuel. We know about that, but we knew Joburg could pull it off. I mean, what's the big deal? Oh, despite the Americans, the South Africans are pulling it off. Of course they're going to pull it off. Of course they're going to. They pulled off FIFA too, and people robbed everybody blind while the cops were busy at the FIFA stadiums. Seriously? Unbelievable. Historic G20 summit. Declaration prioritized the developing world. Once again, not the purpose of the summit. Oh, that's the same story. How'd it get in there twice? Didn't I just do that story? Well, looky there. Ramaphosa, according to Business Tech, scores a major win against the United States. How is it a major win? With a declaration. Well, it was drafted without U.S. input in a move the U.S. White House official called a shameful effort. We had an entire year of working towards this adoption. The past week has been quite intense. So there's the bottom line right there, why the U.S. isn't there. It's not because Ramaphosa and because Trump has issues with South Africa. It's because South Africa is hijacking the summit for its developing beggar bowl world approach. And that's not the purpose. So there you go. There you go. Stun grenades and tear gas fired at Operation Doo-Doo Head. Yes, Operation Doo-Doo Head protesters, the xenophobic, racist bigots, were outside the G20 summit. Police fired stun guns and sprayed tear gas to disperse Operation Doo-Doo Head members who attempted to push past barricades outside Nasrec Expo Center. Several protesters were also arrested after clashes with the police. Sparked when the crowd demanded to be allowed to get closer to the venue, saying they were not happy with the designated protest area about 1 kilometer from the venue. They wanted the attention of international delegates in the country's challenge, including high crime, unemployment rates, as well as illegal immigrants. The reason why we're here at the G20, we want to tell the world that the security of South Africa is at stake. Crime is very high. Kids and women are being killed, and we have a high unemployment rate. I'm surprised Ramaphosa only now has declared GBV a crisis. Well, I'm not surprised, because every time the ANC is in trouble and they're flailing, they pull out the GBV. That's right. They don't care about gender-based violence. They do nothing to stop it. They do nothing to reform South African society, make people more accountable for their actions. They only wait until there's a summit going on, or they've lost curry, they've lost favor with the voters. Then they suddenly care. Then they suddenly care, folks. So here you go. This is it, right on cue. The African National Congress and Cyril posted, gender-based violence is a scourge in this country. It is, but they don't give a flying flip. And here they are once again, putting posters all up over the government website. Oh, look at this. 4 days to go before the launch. 16 days of activism for no violence against women and children. Look at them trying to steal the momentum from women and men trying to stop gender-based violence and the horrific treatment of women in South Africa by men, black, white, and brown. Yes, but every time they're in trouble, they pull out the GBV card, which is what they've done here. What's going on here? Somebody said something here. African savvy. Successful first day if majority decisions matter. It's not a majority. See, you got to. I'm guessing African savvy. The English is not your first language. That's fine. I mean, I speak 6 languages, and I'm not proficient at the same level in all of them. So I appreciate that maybe you're having a challenge here. But majority doesn't matter. This isn't a democracy. The word is consensus. A consensus is when everyone agrees. That's the word. So you can sit here and play wordsmith, but it doesn't change the fact that it wasn't a good day. That South Africa violated protocol, not the United States. South Africa violated protocol and did something out of the norm. They did something ahistorical, as they like to say. It was South Africa they did. Handover can be next week. No, there will be no handover. I doubt that anyone from the U.S. will go there. We don't need to go. It's just ceremony. So the U.S. tried to conform with South Africa's ceremony, and they just dissed them. Thank you, Colonel, for all your hard work and patience. You're welcome, Brian. No, Operation Doo-Doo Head getting attacked. Oops, that's not the one I want. There we go. That's the one I want. Police say Dudula protesters tried to block G20 motorcades. Well, they shouldn't be doing that. That's not a protest. That's violence. SAP's national spokesperson, Brigadier Athalenda Mata, confirmed that 2 members of the group were arrested following confrontation. We have long maintained that we do not have an issue when people protest over their grievances, but they must do so within the confines of the law. We will not allow any lawlessness, barricading or blocking streets. We believe their actions were meant to block the motorcades of heads of state and dignitaries trying to access the Nasrec venue. Folks, no one should be doing that. Please allow these scumbags like Keir Starmer and Emmanuel Macron to make their way to the venue unmolested. Yeah, they need to be able to go there so they can spew their hatred. 2 people arrested. Well, there's one of them arrested. He looks kind of Asian to me. Maybe I'm just wrong. Could be me. Well, the former environmental minister is filing a lawsuit. Good for him. He has been slandered and defamed. Ex-Environment Minister Deon George suing for millions for defamation. He's broken his silence with a statement expressing the belief that he was fired because of his stand against illicit wildlife trafficking. Rebecca Davis reports that ex-Minister Deon George is fighting back. The allegations against me are false and defamatory. The smear campaign that precipitated my dismissal while I was representing South Africa at the COP30 was orchestrated to discredit strong environmental governance and to weaken resistance to organized crime. I'm now pursuing legal action in South Africa, the United Kingdom, the United States against News 24 for defamation. Oh, yeah. And seeking very serious damages. He told Daily Maverick yesterday that he was bringing the case to the UK and the US as well, South, because those jurisdictions take defamation cases very, very seriously. Yeah, well, you'll know that I didn't say any of those things about Deon George. I didn't say any of those things. I said people made those claims, and I said, maybe he watches this program. I said, oh, he's got himself a lawsuit here. This is defamation and slander. Yeah, woo. He said that Naspers is a global company, and they'll be able to reach to overseas. Adrian Basson told Daily Maverick News 24 has not received any notification from George of legal challenge. We gave George ample opportunity to comment on stories regarding his departure. If he institutes any action against us, we will defend it. Well, of course you will. Oh, my goodness. Wow. In addition to questions being asked about the lack of clear reasons given by Steenhuisen, thank you for the subscription. For George's dismissal, Steenhuisen is also facing internal heat following the publication of the Daily Maverick investigation, which revealed that DA leader had default judgment issued for unpaid credit card debt in May of this year. And also his party credit card was suspended. But it was suspended by the finance chair, which is Deon George. Oh, both of those issues could be grounds for dismissal from South African corporations. A senior member of the DA leadership speaking Daily Maverick condition enemy this week said it was possible Steenhuisen could face a charge of bringing the party into dispute. The leader of the DA brought his party into disrepute. He's done it many times. Not to mention his abysmal work as the Minister of Agriculture, failing South African farmers left and right. Instead of being in the United States with Parks Tau or Ronald Lamola negotiating lower tariffs for South African products, or trying to save AGOA when it was still active, lobbying Congress, John Steenhuisen was in Vietnam doing the Lamola, dancing each and every day. Let's do the Lamola, Lamola, Mola, Mola in Vietnam. Yes. Ooh, 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 yeah, yeah. Yes, he was doing a little mola there in Vietnam, dancing the night away. Dancing, dancing, dancing the night away. Yeah, that's what he was doing. Yeah, and in China, where they have ridiculously high tariffs on South African goods, in excess of the 30% the United States has now applied. But that's where he went, the Chinese communist. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Nicola, I see you replying to people. Oh, I need to waddle more in the dance. Sorry. Adrian Basson is doing an op-ed saying the world just flipped Donald Trump the bird. Yeah, not really, buddy. Not really. Not really. So, a week ago, the United States Embassy in Pretoria sent a diplomatic note to South Africa warning the host country not to adopt a declaration without U.S. agreement. South Africa's priorities run counter to U.S. policy views, and we cannot support consensus on any documents negotiated under your presidency. True statement. This is a historic moment in a tense year marked by extraordinary diplomatic action by Washington against South Africa. What extraordinary diplomatic action has the United States taken against South Africa? The only action taken against South Africa this year, the only action taken, is the expulsion of a man who spewed racial hatred as a sitting ambassador. This is insane. Not just someone visiting the country, not just a celebrity, not just a politician, but a sitting ambassador representing South Africa went in a session and called, and he's probably done this many times, but we have proof of this one. He called America a racist country and Donald Trump the leader of a global white supremacy. Now, that's his opinion. He's entitled to his opinions, but as ambassador, that's not something you say. Also, there's no evidence of that. He offered no evidence, just his asinine opinion. And of course, we've seen Ibrahim Rasool get Rasooled. he got taken to task on Piers Morgan. We'll get into that in a second. But yeah, so a declaration in a multilateral gathering is par for the course. A declaration, yeah, but not consensus. This stark moment of tense here. So, U.S. falsely accused South Africa of exterminating its African population. No, the United States has never accused South Africa of exterminating its population, Adrian Basson. You are prone to hyperbole and lies. Donald Trump used that term recently in a press conference when a reporter asked him a question. He was pissed off, and he said the policy of extermination. The United States hasn't accused anybody. Donald Trump accused, and he just did it a few days ago. Trade tariffs to 30% were reduced in South African exports. Yes, they were. And they were 39% on Swiss exports and 30% on Japanese imports and 50% on Chinese exports. What is your point? He's implying that action was taken against something. No, this was across the globe, 90 countries, buddy. And threats about further sanctions against targeted leaders continue to linger. Really? No. See, that's a lie. That's a lie. First off, he doesn't know what he's talking about. The bills that he thinks he knows what he's talking about, one in the House, one in the Senate by John Kennedy, in the Senate by Ronnie Jackson in the House. Neither one of them has gone anywhere. The Jackson bill made it to the floor, but it hasn't been debated. It hasn't been debated. It got out of committee. So what? It got out of committee in July, August, September, October, November. 5 months. Nothing's happened. Nothing is going to happen. This is just nonsense. Just nonsense. Well, let's take a look at that little Piers Morgan thing.
On that charge of...
All right, we're going to sit back, pull out the popcorn for this part of the news broadcast, folks. Pull out the popcorn because you're going to love this. Be sure to hit the like button. Only got 322 likes. What's up with that?
That was easy.
I think you're going to like the broadcast after you listen to this. This is Piers Morgan, my friends. Piers Morgan. This is Emily Schrader, an Israeli American, although I don't believe in dual nationality. That's what she claims. I've asked her for an interview. I don't know if she'll respond. All right, so she just absolutely shreds Ibrahim Rasool. Are you ready for this? Let's get ready to rumble. Ladies and gentlemen, in this corner, weighing 90 kgs, it's the irascible Ibrahim Rasool, former ambassador to the United States. And in the other corner, it's the lovely, attractive, but her head's too small for her body. No, I'm just kidding. The lovely, attractive Emily Schrader, who will now roast Ibrahim Rasool. It's getting hot up in here.
On that charge of him being a white supremacist, what's your response to that?
I mean, I don't really have any comment about Donald Trump. I don't know what his personal views are. I don't care for him that much personally. I don't agree with his policy on most of the Middle East, certainly not trying to make a deal with the Islamic Republic of Iran. But I do find it highly ironic that someone who effectively is an Islamist supremacist is accusing someone else of being a white supremacist. Mr. Rasool here is someone who has openly praised Yusuf al-Qaradawi, who of course is a financier or was a financier of Hamas, who openly supported terrorism and Hamas. He has constantly affiliated himself with various figures who are involved with Hamas. He has participated in...
Did you see that look of constipation? Look at Ibrahim Rasool looks like he's constipated. Oh, dear God. Look, that is precious. That is absolutely precious. I mean, that's incredible. That's look at that look.
Participated in his organization as well, has even co-hosted fundraisers with organizations that were funded and created by Qaradawi, who I mentioned earlier, Suleiman, his colleague. He also has done, not only brought Gazans to South Africa, but also has bragged about his associations with Hamas officials. He's met with Islamic Jihad officials. He has also posted publicly about how he has a keffiyeh that's signed by Isma Haniya, the leader of Hamas. And just several months before he was appointed to be the ambassador of the United States, he was meeting with a delegation of Muslim Brotherhood officials in South Africa about how to advance the Palestinian cause. Now, given the fact that he has all of these associations with Hamas officials and with people who have funded Hamas, I would like to know, and I think the world deserves to know, what exactly he meant by supporting the Palestinian cause when meeting with those Muslim...
Oh, Emily, take a breath. Take a breath. Oh, now watch the response from Ibrahim Rasool. He's just been accused of associating with the Muslim Brotherhood, of hosting Gazans, of terrorists, of keffiyehs, all the, boasting about all his ties to these known terrorists, and having empathy and sympathy for them and support for them. And what does he do? He doesn't address any of the allegations she just made. Emily, of course, is simply repeating racial tropes and stereotypes. This is typical of white leftist, white right-wing,
Brotherhood officials.
Let's give Mr. Rasool the chance to respond.
Yes, let's give him a chance.
I think Emily has come here prepared to speak to a stereotype and not to Ibrahim Rasool.
No, I'm talking about your actual record.
Anyone who knows who I am would know that I was targeted by extremists because...
Says the guy who hangs out with extremists. I was targeted by extremists. Dead! Bring out your dead! Oh, I'm not dead. Shh, be quiet. Dead! Bring out your dead. I'm feeling better. No, you're not. Poof. Oh, come on, Ibrahim. Try to explain this one way.
I stood against extremism.
Actually,
in the
your
name
exact
of Islam.
words
He stands against extremism, but look who he associates with.
You've had a good chance. I have given you a perfect chance.
You stated
Let me
that
say,
Qaradawi was your spiritual guide.
Qaradawi
Those were your
is
words.
an
You publicly
important-
posted it.
is an important person in the Muslim world.
Ladies and gentlemen, Qaradawi is an important person in the Muslim world. Well, Adolf Hitler was an important person in the fascist world. I didn't associate with him. He is a stereotype. Yeah, that's good. Anyway, that's enough of that. We couldn't resist bringing that one up again. That's classic. Ibrahim Rasool, you've been Rasooled. That's twice this year as the guy's been Rasooled. Tough year for Ibrahim. Yes, birds of a feather flock together in that case. Yep. Oh my goodness. Protesters arrested. We already covered that. G20, Africa takes center stage, except that's not the purpose of G20. So it's been hijacked by the South African government. Takes center stage, his declaration mentions continent 80 times. I'm sorry, is it the Africa Summit or is it the G20 Summit? How many times they mention G20? Let me do that. I could do that. I've got that. I've got that in an Acrobat file. Download. Where's it at here? So where's the G20 Summit Declaration? Let's see how many times they mention G20. Okay. They do that one 80 times. So where's my search button? There we go. Find G20. G20. Okay. Loading results. Okay. How many times? 137 matches. Okay. So, I mean, it's the G20, so it ought to be in there. But 80 times Africa is mentioned. How many times is North America, Europe mentioned? Let's see that. Let's try that. Europe. How many times is mentioned? EURP. Hang on. Come on. Europe. No results found. The G20 comprised of a dozen European countries. Europe is not mentioned once in the document. Let's look at North America. No results found. Let's look at Japan. No results found. The G20. There's no North America, no Europe, no Japan mentioned even once. Not even once. No, it doesn't stand for global, Anton. It stands for group. Group of 7. Yep. Well, Ramaphosa, according to Kefis Kosane, Ramaphosa is punching above his weight. I beg to differ. He's not punching above his weight. He's embarrassing himself. Donald Trump's efforts to thwart the G20 have fallen flat. There are no efforts to thwart the G20. Dude, we didn't go. What are you talking about? 11:52, Japanese Prime Minister Takaichi strolled onto the red carpet fresh off a plane. She was fashionably late by an hour. Keir Starmer, the British Prime Minister, and French President Emmanuel Macron, the biggest men in Europe, rallied behind South Africa to make the summit a success. The biggest men in Europe. The UK is not in Europe, and even if you consider it part of Europe, it's not the biggest man. It's a failing country. Germany's the biggest man, and they got problems too, but Germany's much bigger than France or UK. Calling them biggest men in Europe is comical. Waves of Sudanese families fleeing an expanding war as impoverished flee to Chad. A poor country. Many people in Chad already depend on humanitarian assistance even before the start of the war in Sudan. This is from the Al Jazeera staff. Thousands more Sudanese are flee the country's bloody war to arrive in neighboring impoverished Chad as humanitarian situation deteriorates. More than 4.3 million Sudanese have fled to neighboring countries since the start of the conflict in April 2023. Conrad just gave 5 memberships, and Dogzilla got one. Dogzilla got a membership. Congratulations. That's for everybody who got their membership. Yes. Gunmen abducted not 20 or 30 girls, but over 200. 200 girls have been abducted from Nigeria and 12 teachers in this attack on the Catholic school. Gunmen attacked a Catholic boarding school in western region of Nigeria, abducted more than 200 school children. The attack and abductions took place at St. Mary's School, a Catholic institution. They seized 215 pupils as well as 12 teachers. Wow. Unbelievable. Terrible things are happening. Terrible things are happening, folks. It's crazy. Crazy. Well, China is threatening Taiwan. And China, which rejects the United Nations suzerainty over China's actions to the International Court of Justice, refusing to abandon the mythical, fantastical lie of the 9-dash line, China now wants the UN to intervene against Japan. This is a farce, to say the least. China abusing the East Asia region once again. The spat has rapidly escalated into trade and diplomatic war set to affect businesses on both sides of the sea. If Japan dares to attempt an armed intervention in the cross-strait situation, it would be an act of aggression. China's permanent representative to the UN, Fu Kong, told in a letter on Friday to the global body's Security General Antonio Guterres, who's in South Africa, referring to the strait that separates mainland China from governing Taiwan, which Beijing insists belongs to China. Beijing has not ruled out the possibility of forcibly taking Taiwan. Yes, it is China that is the threat to global security, and ignored by South Africa's media. China threatening their neighbors. Threatening their neighbors. Over and over again. China, China, China. Well, Professor Salim Abdul Karim on combating disinformation in the post-COVID era. Well, I agree, Professor Karim, that we should combat disinformation. But the problem is that you're a shill for the government. You're talking about social media misinformation when we have disinformation from the government. We had, of course, Anthony Fauci lie to the world. We had Karen Blixen lie to the world. We had the World Health Organization lie to the world. We had the Chinese lie to the world. We had the Biden regime lie to the world. We had Ramaphosa lie to the world. These are all government officials and government agencies and actors who all lied to the world and misled us about COVID. And millions died. Millions died. Yes. His book is called Standing Up for Science. And it tells people how to deal with disinformation. Appreciating the role of scientists as truth sayers. No, they're bullshit artists. They cooked the data for climate change in the UK, altered the data to reflect their desires to push the climate zealotry. Remember that? We haven't forgotten about that. That's now almost 2 decades ago they pulled that crap. And these so-called scientists lied to us about COVID. They even try to cover it up. Traditionally, these viruses are named out of the place they're first noticed in abundance. West Nile virus in the West Nile. Rocky Mountain spotted fever in the Rocky Mountains. Lassa fever. Placing Ebola River in the Congo. Wuhan, a flu from China. But they decided to call it something else, breaking with scientific norms of the colloquial naming of it. Yeah, monkeypox. Apparently, some leftist racists think that monkeys are like black people. They're racist to make that association. Who would make such an association? That's asinine. It's monkeypox because it's transmitted from monkeys. That's right, monkeys. Now it's mpox. No, it's monkeypox. So trust the science? No, not when the scientists are frauds. Not when they cook the data, not when they lie to us. Moody's ratings upgrades Italy's debt because they expect to see it declining. Well, they upgraded South Africa's debt. Now they're upgrading Italy's. Interesting. Moody's boosted Italy's sovereign credit rating on expectations for a decline in government debt. The ratings agency on Friday upgraded Italy's rating one level to Baa2 from Baa3. There you go. Still pretty low rated, though. 2 robbers overpower a guard and steal dozens of ancient gold coins from a Swiss museum. Wow. Imperial propaganda. Permanent exposition in the Musée Roman in Lausanne, Switzerland. Swiss authorities searched Friday for 2 robbers who overpowered a security guard at a Roman-era museum in Lausanne, smashed a display case, and made off with dozens of gold coins that had been displayed inside. City police said late Thursday that the suspects had purchased tickets and waited until other visitors left shortly before closing time before assaulting and restraining the guard, then breaking the display case. The employee was a 64-year-old Swiss national. So you have a 64-year-old guard. What did you expect to happen? Trump says that he wants Ukraine's answer on the peace plan by Thursday, Thanksgiving. Zelensky says he's got a tough choice, but Putin says, hey, this could work. Of course, you're going to get what you want. And Donald Trump will invite the Russians into the G7 to make it the G8 as part of this agreement. So Russia's going to get a lot out of this if they go forward with it. I don't know that Ukraine will accept it. The Supreme Court has struck down the effort to redistrict in Texas, violating the sovereignty of the state of Texas. Federal District Court ruled November 18th that challengers would likely be able to prove at trial that the state map was racially discriminatory. Well, I can prove that the state maps in many states are racially discriminatory against white and other Americans by ensuring that districts are overwhelmingly black to ensure that we have overrepresentation of black people in Congress. That is racially discriminatory, and that is part of the 1965 Voting Rights Act, which is it's antithesis to the Constitution that doesn't provide equal protection under the 14th Amendment. The Equal Protection Clause is violated by the 1965 Voting Rights Act, which is racist. So it's racially discriminatory. So the Supreme Court has their head up their ass. If you're going to say this is racially discriminatory, then you have to throw out the 1965 Voting Rights Act. It's as simple as that, folks. As simple as that. Marjorie Taylor Greene, the grenade-throwing firebrand from Georgia, is done. She's giving up. She's betraying her constituents and resigning a year early because she's a wuss. Yep, Georgia lawmaker has fought with Trump in recent months and will step aside in January. The announcement came a week after Trump disowned her politically and offered to back a primary challenger against the prominent MAGA figure. She said she did not want my sweet district to have to endure the hurtful and harmful primary. No, there's something else going on here. What do they have on Marjorie Taylor Greene? Obviously, she's done something. Otherwise, she'd just finish her term and not run again. So why is Marjorie Taylor Greene leaving office? It's a good question. Well, Trump met with the Islamist-in-chief, the future mayor of New Jack City. 5 takeaways from that meeting. The president and mayor-elect said they found common ground in a cordial meeting focused on the future of New York City. Well, they found common ground. We had a meeting today and actually surprised me, said Trump. Looking to lower housing costs. Well, get rid of the rent control in New York City. That would start. Both want to reduce crime. Well, yeah, but Mondami doesn't really want to reduce crime. Trump is cheering for Mondami. This will disappoint the MAGA crowd and conservatives. And Trump laughs off the political rhetoric. Another reporter brought up a quote from Elise Stefanik calling Mondami a jihadist. And Trump said, she's out there campaigning. You say things sometimes in campaign. Trump, the pragmatist. That's what's going on here. Trump is not the populist. He's the pragmatist. In a lot of his actions, the H-1B visas, he misled Americans. That's being pragmatic. Here he's being pragmatic, and he's pissing off a lot of people. But, hey, he's always pissing people off. Middle class is buckling under almost 5 years of persistent inflation, and this hit job in the Wall Street Journal is dishonest. Workers growing tired of an economy in which everything seems to get more expensive, but that's not true, and they admit it right here. After nearly 5 years high prices, many middle class earners thought life would be more affordable by now. How did they think life was going to be more affordable? Did they think prices would come down? That's called deflation. That's what happens in a collapsing economy. Some prices can come down as things become more efficient and costs are cut out. Faster computers, faster memory, bigger computers, more efficient cars, costs can come down. But costs just don't come down because you want them to come down. What kind of economic journalism is this from the Wall Street Journal? Costs for goods and services are 25% above where they were in 2020. Yeah, because of Joe Biden, 2021, 2, 3, 24. Joe Biden. Even though the inflation rate is below its 2022, the inflation rate is almost non-existent. There they admit the truth. Certain items like coffee, ground beef, and car repairs are up markedly this year. Well, that's because Trump put 40% tariffs on coffee. We don't grow coffee in America. And ground beef we're importing from Argentina and from Brazil, foolishly. So what did you expect? Life felt more doable a year and a half ago, says Holly, a college communications director with a household income of $135,000 living. I need to know where the light is at the end of the tunnel. Life was more doable a year and a half ago. What planet are you on? Things are actually cheaper now than they were a year and a half ago. Fuel is down by over 50% from what it cost. Petrol costs only $2 and some cents a gallon, not $5 a gallon, what it was just a year and a half ago. It's ridiculous. Cyril mistakes President Trump for a South African white man that can be put in his place with race laws and persecution. He's going to regret blocking the U.S. Yes, he will. Well, a federal judge has blocked the Internal Revenue Service from releasing tax data on criminal alien offenders. A federal judge in Washington ruled the federal government likely violated law adopting information release policy. A federal judge on November 21st ordered the Internal Revenue Service not to share tax return information that immigration officials want to use for deportation of illegal immigrants. U.S. District Judge Colleen Kohler-Courtney of the District of Columbia granted a preliminary injunction against the IRS after determining that the groups that brought the lawsuit had legal standing to sue. She said in an opinion the plaintiffs have shown a substantial likelihood that an interagency agreement allowing the sharing of information is unlawful under the Administrative Procedure Act. It's a 1946 law. So what you're saying is that a 1946 law protects criminals who've stolen Social Security numbers and then filed tax returns. So the underlying issue here is the crime being perpetrated by criminal alien invaders, and you are shielding them, saying the law protects criminals. How does the law protect criminals? That doesn't make any sense. That doesn't make any sense at all. Well, Eli Lilly reaches a $1 trillion valuation because of its fat loss drugs. 150-year-old drug maker is the first company in healthcare to hit the milestone. Yes, hugely popular weight loss drugs, it reached $1 trillion in value. Surged in large part because the company's success in seizing the biggest potential market in the history of the drug industry, the class of weight loss medicines known as GLP-1s. The company's injections sold Zepbound and Mounjaro is on track to be a top-selling drug in the world this year. Only a handful of publicly traded companies, mostly in technology, have reached the $1 trillion benchmark. NVIDIA became the first, now worth $5 trillion. The second most valuable healthcare company, Johnson & Johnson, is worth $500 billion. Under the watch of Dave Ricks, who became chief executive in 2017, Lilly's added more than $900 billion to its market value. Wow. Along the way, the once sleepy company, which is 150 years old and based in Indianapolis, has become ubiquitous. Zepbound is everywhere, and Caitlin Clark wears Lilly's logo on her Indiana Fever jersey. Wow. Under the deal, People will use their own money to pay $449 a month for higher doses, a Zepbound $50 discount off the current price. Wow. Over the past year and a half, Lilly's main competitor in the weight loss drug market, Novo Nordisk, has faltered, steadily losing market share. Eli Lilly is developing a daily pill for fighting obesity. So this is a global drug. All the people telling me America is so obese, the whole frickin' world is obese. When do you think he's South African? I don't think it's going to happen right away, but we'll see. How Google finally leapfrog rivals with the new Gemini rollout. Yeah, this Gemini 3 is actually pretty good. At least at making cartoon images, I'll tell you that. So Gemini is making a splash, and they got the banana graphics maker. And that, my friends, is the news for today, the 22nd of November, 2025. A day I don't normally do the news because I'm busy with rugby. But today we're just doing one rugby match. By the way, Japan, I picked them to beat Georgia. Japan finally won a game. 25-23. Excuse me. Ugh. So I got the victory point and the bonus point for getting the score right. Yep. So off to a good start. Let me see where we're at now on my Super Brew. How about the rest of you guys? How's your Super Brew doing? Where is my Super Brew hiding at? It's here somewhere. Not there. Not there. Not there. I must have closed it. Let's come back here and get it open again. Super Brew. I like how I'm not getting logged out all the time now. Okay, so I picked Uruguay over Romania. I picked them by 10, but they won by like 20. 17, so I missed it, but I got it. I picked New Zealand over Wales by 24, and right now I've got both points. Is that game still on? Let's take a look at that. Let's take a look at that game. It's in the 74th minute, and right now it's a 24-point margin. That's what I picked them by. Nobody scored that game. Please, nobody scored that game. I picked them by 24 points. It's perfect right now. That will get me back in the fight. Well, Utopia, I normally do it, but in the rugby season, I don't do it. I got Japan. I got the bonus point. I've got the bonus point for Wales, New Zealand, but if nobody else scores the next 6 minutes, then I'm going to be golden. I'll get the bonus point, the match point, yeah, and the winning point. That'll be awesome. Yeah. Ooh, head contact. Okay, well, let me go to that game real quick. That would be on Peacock. P is spelled with a P, not with a symbol like this had there. Let me take a look at that. Who's watching? Oh, it's me. And let's go to sports. Go to sports. And we've got starting in 4 minutes. Oh, that's okay. That's, yeah, hang on. What's going on here? I'm looking for my sport here. Rugby. There we go. Live. Wales versus New Zealand. Let's take a look at what's going on there. I got to sit through a 15-minute advert. This is ridiculous every time. So you miss game. You miss game action if you tune in. It's really annoying. They shouldn't do this. This is such a ripoff. And I pay for this service. It's ridiculous. Okay, what's going on? Is it over? This event will resume shortly. All right, I forgot. I got to come over to this other browser because it doesn't like Play Nice. It went back to the beginning. It wouldn't let me watch it live. So now I got to come over here in the Microsoft browser. Click in that. Let's get the sports. Okay, here we go. That's not it. Come on. Wales versus Scotland. Or New Zealand, excuse me. Now another 15 seconds of this nonsense I have to sit through. Saw the white, Roy Falk, and Rhodes bugger up around Nazareth, but I got through and back. Yeah, I bet it's very irritating. Very irritating. Fighting obesity, it's called eating healthy and staying away from sugar carbs. Wales about to score. Damn it. Don't score, Wales. Don't score. 6 phases. They got 4 minutes left in Wales. Come on. All Blacks, stop them. It's a 24-point. For once, I'm trying to stop Wales. Come on. Don't let them through. Don't let them through. Turn it over. Somebody knocked the ball on. Oh, Holly's out there. One of my favorite officials. Wales is pushing hard. They're going to get in the outside. They got it. Damn it. They scored, and they ruined my 24-point victory. You bastards. Ah, I hate Wales now. Where you at, Fleshin? They ruined it. Louis Zamat scored, you bastard. You cost me. There goes my bonus point. Damn it. Hopefully he misses a conversion so I don't lose the other point. Just moments left in this game. Yeah, that's a try. Ah, All Blacks, you let me down so badly there, fellas. You let me down. You let me down. Disappointing. I had that thing perfectly, 24 points. And they just a gimme. I got Portugal by 5, and they're tied with Canada. Ooh, that's not good. That's not good. And I got Spain beating Fiji by 7. They're up by 1 right now. So, anyway. All right, what else? Carbs is not bad. You just don't need to be a glutton. There you go. Loving South Africa's diplomacy. If I were the U.S. State Department, it'd be my policy not to negotiate with terrorists. Bucks by 13. Okay. Can you look at PRM cases being overlooked by RC? No, I don't have access to that stuff. I mean, look at. Ian, have you not been interviewed? Did you do the intake questionnaire? Straight red card. Yep. What else just got yellow for bunker? Okay. Yeah, my Super Bowl was looking great. Now it's looking good. Not great. This thing with G20, I wonder who is trying to bully who. South Africa's trying to bully the U.S. But you can't bully the U.S. Waiting for the Colonel's news today. No other thanks. See you on the flip side of commentary. The two giants. I know who we're supporting. Okay. Okay. What else we got here? When do you think U.S. are really going to hit South Africa? I don't know. I don't know if they're going to do it. I don't think it'll be now. I think it'll be later. $25% over 5 years. That's misleading. And based on what basket goods. Yeah, it's also not true, Nick Bob. Not true. I mean, everything I buy costs twice what it cost. So I went to Arby's yesterday to try to get some gift cards. And while I was at Arby's, they told me that well, they didn't tell me. I looked at the menu, and the sandwiches I used to pay $5.99 for before Biden are now $11.99 for the same sandwich. $11.99. My pay is 2% higher than it was 5 years ago. And when I retired in 2019, my pay is over 40% less than what it was then. Yep. Interesting to see how many Democrats are resigning their political office now. Exposure to Epstein. Yep. Well, that's because they wanted it. Oh, we wanted it. They wanted the release. They wanted the release. Well, I guess who's in there? Democrats. There might be some Republicans too, but the Democrats are the ones that are being exposed now. 25 international banks recently met to discuss resolution of potential liquidity crisis. The U.S. is selling a lot of government bonds and buying commodities. Watching an interview today, ANC is being taken to court in February for crimes against humanity. Who's taking them to court, Renee? So much fraud around the so-called science. Money talks, as they said, and the science is bought and paid for. Yep. Hope people remember that when the next scamdemic hits. Yep. First global cooling, then suddenly global warming, now climate change. Yes. ANC will never admit their mistakes. True. When are the ANC going to admit they have stuffed the country up? I don't know if they ever will. The G15. Yep. All right. So thank you for the memberships that were gifted, and thank you for. We got a little bit of super chat money on this one. Anyway, so yeah, it's just Rasul got really roasted there by Emily Schrader. That was pretty impressive. 52. Oh, they got it back. They got it back, but it's not. But they didn't get the conversion. Wait, 26, 36, 46, 56 would be 30 minus 4. Oh, that's 26. I need 2 points to make. No, 2 points to make it worse. Yeah, make it 24. Okay, that's who's taken. Okay, slippery, yes, but the sandwich sucks. There's Arctic. Where the heck have you been, man? Just a rumor. I heard that Joel Pollack might be the next ambassador. No, Brent Blazell is the ambassador designate. He has already had his hearings. No, Sydney Sweeney's jeans. Good Lord. Sue Marie says, thank you for my consultation fee. I'll pay off my consultation fee because I wasted your time. Rand is worth nothing. Sorry. It's no consulting fee. I don't charge. Yeah, nothing will happen. Which Woolworths? Here in Cape, it's not that ridiculous yet. Slippery pickle, that's funny. So it's 24 points. Did I get it? Did I do the math wrong? Then I'm going to be perfect again. 493 people. People banning me. Where are they going? Is the Ronaldo gone? Is the Ronaldo on? Did you guys catch the song? Did you catch the song? Cyril's big mistake. Yeah, Cyril's big blunder. Cyril's big blunder, man. Here it comes.
Yeah, man! Serious times down in Johannesburg. Watch the fire now. Listen! The horns!
Oh, yeah. The stage was set, the lights were low for the big G20 show. Leaders coming from across the sea to talk about the world economy. Johannesburg was dressed to impress, ready to clean up the global mess. But before the first gavel could sound, a different kind of noise started going around. Now everybody talking about Cyril's big blunder. He lighting the match while we standing under. You think you're smart with that devious smile, but you're burning down the bridge for mile after mile. Oh, Cyril's big blunder, what a heavy price. When you're playing politics and rolling the dice, the party is cancelled, the guests wouldn't come. Now we dancing alone to the beat of the drum. The Kineon see politicians step up to the mic, spewing out words that nobody like. They open their mouths and the fire jump out, insulting America, scream and shout. They're telling tall tales, they're telling the lies, right there under the African skies. And the media catch it, they run with the ball, they amplify the noise until the whole thing follow. Talking about Cyril's big blunder, he lighting the match while we standing under. You think you're smart with that devious smile, but you're burning down the bridge for mile after mile. Oh, Cyril's big blunder, what a heavy price. When you're playing politics and rolling the dice, the party is cancelled, the guests wouldn't come. Now we dancing alone to the beat of the drum. Yeah. Watch the house of cards, they're tumbling on. Yeah, blow it down, what a mess. I look at the president sitting up high, I see that little twinkle in his eye. He cracking that smile, that devious grin, while the diplomatic ice is getting very thin. You think the eagle gonna take that heat? Nah, sir, they won't take a seat.
Nah, sir.
No Uncle Sam at your Josie party, you chase them away, you're acting too hearty. It's Cyril's big blunder, he lighting the match while we standing under. You think you're smart with that devious smile, but you're burning down the bridge for mile after mile. Oh, Cyril's big blunder, what a heavy price. When you're playing politics and rolling the dice, the party is cancelled, the guests wouldn't come. Now we dancing alone to the beat of the drum. Yeah, yeah, they staying away America now come to Johannesburg today. You set the house on fire, man, what kind of plan? Cyril, wipe that smile off your face. It's a disgrace. No, sir. No, sir.
Cyril's big blunder, yeah, man, in Johannesburg. Big things happening today where they broke protocol by issuing a final declaration before the summit even began. Yes, yes, indeed, because Cyril knew that he was worried it wouldn't go so well. Folks, be sure to hit the like button if you haven't done it. I put a link into that video. If you have not gone and watched the video, please just go watch it for at least a moment, maybe a little bit longer. Give me a view on it. It is on the cusp of 100,000 views. So close. You know, it's kind of a special moment there, hitting 100,000 on a video or more. That one has been my first 100,000 video in a while, and that thing is right on the cusp. It's got 99,768 views. Let me see if that's still current. Reload that. but it's really tailed off for the last day, and it struggled to get to that 100,000. So one more. So I need 231 views to take it to 100,000 views. So cool. Pre-screening interview on Tuesday. Congratulations. I will now break off here shortly and prep for the game at the bottom of the hour. So over on Rugby Ascendant, folks, join me over there. It's the Springboks taking on Ireland at Aviva Stadium in Dublin, and it's going to be a cracker of a game, we hope. Okay, final declaration before it ends means meeting was held before the meeting. Yes, exactly. Exactly. So they issued a final declaration before the conference even began. All right, folks, be sure to hit that like button. 530 likes. Almost 4,000 people tuned in for this one on a Saturday. That's a good turnout for a Saturday. We usually have a small crowd on a Saturday when we do this. So thank you all so much, and I'll see you on Rugby Ascendant in about 20 minutes. All right? Cheers, everybody.